It's pretty hard to comprehend that thousands of people follow Jesus around. Why would they do that? Why would they be following and listening to this teacher? Nobody drew a crowd like Jesus. So it's pretty phenomenal. And I think that once we start examining the things that he said and the way that he said it, we start to understand it. Because you see, Jesus had 5 powerful teaching methods to change hearts and minds. And the truth is, we could use these in our own lives if we wanted to, but it helps us understand Jesus and it helps us understand why he spoke the way he did. And I think we'll notice this. I think we'll notice it for sure that Jesus was not preaching and teaching the way that most pastors and Bible teachers teach today. Not even the way that I teach. I probably need to use more of these techniques. So number 1 is hyperbole, exaggerated language to wake people up. Extreme imagery so that you feel it. You don't just hear it. Here are some examples. If your right eye causes you to sin, tear it out. It is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle. Both of those are hyperbole. They're exaggerations. It's forcing a decision. You don't casually respond to language like that. Now, these phrases too would have been common to the people. Like they knew, and we'll cover this in a future episode, so subscribe to make sure you get notified. The people knew what it meant. They knew what the eye of a needle was. And it wasn't the needle like we're thinking about. It was a doorway. So this extreme example, this hyperbole spoke to them. It kept them alert and awake. And it was a riddle somewhat for them to solve. There was a paradox, truth that breaks through normal logic. It sounds contradictory, but it's exposing a deeper level of reality. He said things like, whoever loses their life will do what? They'll find it. The first will be last, and the last first. So what is it doing? It's disrupting how people think success, control, and life actually work. And that's important because it is a paradox. It is showing them some extremes. You think about that. The first will be last. The last will be first. That paradox, it works on us a little bit. It makes us wonder, how in the world, what does that mean? How do I apply that? How do I live that? He gave them something to go and think about, to sit with, to explore. And honestly, it didn't bother him that it wasn't wrapped up in a bow. People would go home and try to figure it out themselves. He wasn't scared that they might come to a different conclusion. So opposite of today, right? So you had the paradox, you had the kingdom inversion, flipping power and status systems. So Jesus reverses what people assume matters. Whoever wants to be great must be your servant, from Mark 10. Blessed are the meek, the poor, the persecuted. That doesn't sound blessed at all. And yet he said those are the blessing. So he was giving this inversion between the world and God's kingdom, this crown and this wash basin, this servanthood. So what's it doing? It's redefining greatness, power, and favor. That's what he's really focusing on. And this kingdom inversion takes what people tend to believe is common. I've got to reach the upper levels. I've got to be the one to be successful. I've got to be the one who achieves everything under the sun. I've got to be the one to reach all my goals. And our world says that here's what's important. It's money, it's power, it's influence. And Jesus says, nah, if you really want to be about the kingdom business, it's not about how high you go, it's how low you go. Matthew 13, on the night that Jesus was betrayed, it says that he had all power put under his control, all authority. And it was in that moment that what did he do? Did he get on to the guys? Did he push the guys around? Did he tell them, look, I'm about to leave. You guys better straighten up. It's been a wrestling match last 3 years messing with you guys. Y'all are just all over the place. Nope. What's he do? He gets up from the table, wraps a towel around his waist, and he washes feet to show where the kingdom really is. Urgency language. He cut through delay and excuses. It sounds harsh because it's meant to interrupt hesitation. So in Luke 9, he said, let the dead bury the dead. That sounds rough. It wasn't, because this guy was basically saying, give me a year. Give me a year and I'll come back. Follow me. Leave your nets immediately. There were several following passages where he says, if you're going to follow me, you've got to deny yourself, take up your cross, and follow me. So there's urgency language of what needs to be done right now. It's forcing clarity. What actually matters right now? And so that's one of the challenges, is often even in our own lives. We're like, God, what's my purpose? What direction do I need to go? And if we were to receive it, we might go, well, wait a minute. Whoa, 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 whoa. That is inconvenient. That's inconvenient for me. I've known so many people, and I've been guilty of saying this, that, I'm afraid the Lord's going to call me to something I don't want to do. So there's this urgency that when he is calling, he's calling you to do it now, most of the time, right? Symbolic language, it's meant to be internalized and not literalized. It sounds strange if it's taken physically as a reality, but this is about an inner reality. So he said things like John 6, eat my flesh, drink my blood. John 15, I'm the vine, you're the branches. Now, what's it doing? It's moving truth from concept into lived experience. What he's saying in eat my flesh and drink my blood, I want you to completely embody me. With I'm the vine, you are the branches, I want us to remain connected. I want you to abide in me. And so all of these things are being said to really create this deep connection. So 5 powerful methods and 1 purpose to reach hearts and minds: hyperbole, paradox, kingdom inversion, urgency language, symbolic language. Not confusion, but communication that transforms. Jesus didn't just teach information. He reached hearts, he reached minds, and that's why his life and his words still change lives today. Spend some time in the Gospels, just reading Jesus and how he reacted to people and how he shocked people with some of his language. It's very deep, and dare I say, it's also very entertaining. If you've got any questions about some of the stuff that Jesus said, drop it in the comments below. Happy to dive into those more and answer those. Bible answers for real life. Bible answers for life. And I don't have all the answers. I could be completely wrong. Give me your own opinion, your own thoughts. Or if there's a favorite phrase that Jesus used, feel free to share that too. We're just here having a conversation. Until next time, as always, be blessed.